How's the Swedish boy in America? Are you well? Are you well? Yeah. When the beat drops. I know people were kind of hating on this theme song, but I don't know, it's fun. It gets me in the vibe, it gets me in the mood. It's just like a little more synthy.
Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
Hello friends, it is Monday afternoon. Just sort of finishing up the work day. Today's been a day of a lot of just like logistical tasks. I was doing some stuff for my taxes and then also wrestling on the phone with Kaiser Permanente. Shout out to you all, you're the worst. They just try to make things complicated so that you never find answers and your life is harder. So that was fun. I'm really excited. It's been a good day because Ethan is back from his tour and then recording an album. So Petey and I have just been soaking up the time with him. For the rest of the day, I think we're just gonna have dinner. He's gonna cook dinner. He's at the store grocery shopping for us right now, and then watch our shows, which will be really fun because we have a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, the other thing that I wanted to kind of update you all on, actually back on the dating apps. What does that mean? That probably sounds confusing. So Ethan and I are in an open relationship. We're ethically non-monogamous. So while we live together and have a really amazing and beautiful relationship that I'm endlessly grateful for, I also date other people. And I haven't been on the apps for a while just because, you know, obviously I've been with Ethan and then I've been dating one other person. Shout out to you, Daniel. He watches these and is a subscriber, so he might be watching this. Oh, he's not going anywhere. Ethan's not going anywhere, obviously, but I just want to kind of branch out now that spring has sprung, and I always sort of feel more flirty and fun in the springtime and more interested in dating. So I'm back on the apps. By the apps, I literally just mean Field. It's really the only app I use anymore because I have not found any success with the other ones. And Field is kind of a hot mess too, but it works well enough for me for now. So anyway, I actually have my first date since June tomorrow night. So that'll be exciting. I will catch you all up on it and tell you how it goes. I'm a little nervous, but mostly excited. This person seems nice enough. Our conversation so far online has been pretty good. So fingers crossed for me, pray for your girl. So let me tell you more about my journey with non-monogamy. So I think I had my first inkling that I was non-monogamous. That's how I sort of identify in terms of like my relational style and my just like relational orientation. I think I had my first inkling when I was in college because I was dating someone who's really lovely, but I was like feeling really unfulfilled. Unfulfilled in terms of like, there was nothing wrong with our relationship, but I just wanted more and I couldn't quite explain it. And I had like urges to cheat on him, which really didn't feel aligned with my values. I felt really horrible that I had those urges, but I kind of just like pushed them down until that relationship was over. And I never did cheat on him, but I thought it was really odd that like I wanted to, or that I was having those thoughts. And honestly, pretty much every relationship in my 20s after that followed the same pattern where we'd date for like a year and things would be going really well. I reached this point where I was like unsatisfied. And I just thought, I'm like, am I a horrible person that I like want to cheat and that I'm having these thoughts? Like, do people have these thoughts? Is this normal? It didn't feel normal to me. And I remember like the last relationship I was in before Ethan, I kind of just got really down on myself and really overwhelmed, and I ended up reading more about non-monogamy and being like, I wonder if this is me. I wonder if I would thrive better in an open relationship. And I brought it up to him, the guy I was dating at the time, and he was kind of like, no. Like, not in a mean way, but he was just like, yeah, that's not for me. And I was like, okay, cool. And I felt so like, ugh, after that conversation that I shut it down again. And it really wasn't until like 2.5 or maybe even 3 years in with Ethan that I started to have that feeling. And at this point I was like, okay, I have to triangulate the data and look at this pattern. Every relationship, even the ones that have been really positive, I've had this feeling. And I'd never been with anyone who I loved as much as Ethan and who I felt like I wanted to share a life with as much as Ethan. So I was like, this feels like it's not about finding the right one anymore. It's about really looking inward. So Ethan and I had a lot of hard conversations about it. He was definitely surprised because he was not anticipating that, because I had really pushed it down and felt so self-conscious about bringing it up just because of how past conversations had gone. And there was just so much shame there for me about it. Anyway, we talked about it. It was hard. It was a lot of long and hard conversations, but eventually in 2021, we opened up our relationship. I won't get into like all the highs and lows and challenges that came up with that, but suffice it to say, it was not always easy. But I'm very, very grateful for him because he hung in there with me. And I think, we're not perfect when it comes to navigating non-monogamy, but we have come a long way and we've learned so much. And I've made a lot of mistakes. He's made mistakes. And so, yeah. But I feel like we're in a better place with it now than we've ever been. So yeah, I am grateful to him that I found someone who's willing to have those hard conversations, and that he didn't just sort of shut it down and say no, and that he like stuck it through with me and was kind of like, you're my person, we'll figure this out. Like, it's not going to be easy, but it's worth doing the hard work. And that felt really special and good for me, and definitely helped me deal with some core beliefs around like not being enough or not being worth doing hard emotional work for. Oh, and then also shout out to my therapist, Caitlin, who I've been working with since 2022, I believe. And she has been my rock. She's on maternity leave right now, which is hard to say the least. So I do feel that we have done a lot of important work together on this, and that she's helped me a lot just kind of like accept my identity as a non-monogamous person and as who I am. I just threw a lot at you. Whew. It feels good to talk about, but I definitely also get really self-conscious talking about it. I've worked a lot on just like embracing who I am and accepting it and not apologizing for it and being like, this is what it is. But it's hard because it feels like a kind of different way to live your life and very against our heteronormative type of nuclear family unit society. So yeah, be nice to me about it. Anyway, yeah, I'll keep you posted about how that date goes, because that's tomorrow night. Well, we're finished with dinner and I am tasked with doing the dishes, but I just wanted to show you what Ethan made. Look at this Gorgina chicken, and then my favorite rice pilaf. And then he also made some Brussels sprouts. So this is the kind of cooking I get when I'm not home alone. Happy birthday, Petey. It's this little boy's birthday. You're 5. How does it feel to be 5? My angel is growing up. All right, folks, it is Tuesday evening and I'm getting ready for my date in like 30 minutes. So come along with me as I zhuzh up my makeup to get ready. So how am I feeling about tonight? I'm excited. I haven't been on a first date since June, like I said earlier. So I'm like, ooh, dusting off the cobwebs. I know I'm weird, but I really do enjoy dating because it feels like getting to know myself better, like talking about myself or sharing my story with someone. It's like you really do, it sounds so corny, but you fall in love with yourself a little bit more every time. And I don't even mean to sound narcissistic when I say that, but it's just something where you're like, wow, I am really cool. Like I have done a lot and my life is something I'm proud of. And I also do just enjoy learning about new people. I'm very like, what is it, USA or TBS? No, USA, characters welcome. Like even if a date is a total bust, it's always an amazing story. And it's always like, well, that was an interesting or weird person. You know what I mean? Or they're a great person. Usually they're just interesting and weird, and that's fine too. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It was kind of it was a long day of sessions. And it was one of those days where I was like, ooh, men really ain't shit. So many women with deadbeat fucking husbands who do not value that they're with absolute goddesses. That was really the theme of today. And that is really the theme of every Tuesday, is just like men need to get their shit together and start not being trash. Oh, I think that looks really nice. I'm happy with that, how that came out. I love this palette. I'm really, really enjoying this palette that I used last time on the vlog when I showed you my eye look. But it was a long day, so I am really excited to have a little cocktail, maybe some little appetizers, and just feel fun and flirty and cute and fresh. So far, this person has been a fantastic texter, which is very attractive because bad texters, are such an ick. I love just like consistent, like checking in, like, okay, see you this time, this place, blah, blah, blah. Like a little flirty, but not too flirty, not coming on too strong, just enough of a flirt without being like a creep. So we love that too. I don't really know too much about them yet. Our conversation wasn't too long, which I also like, because I'm like, I don't want to know everything about you before we even go on this date. So that wasn't the case either. I think they do something in film, or they used to, and then they like opened a restaurant. Entrepreneur. So, but yeah, I mean, they could suck. That would be fine too. It would just be like, oh well, I got a little dinner and cocktail out of the situation. I'm very good at doing like early stages of dating and making that really fun. Later stages of dating, that's when I get my feelings hurt. So I need to work on that. And I have been working on that in therapy. And I think I've been doing a really good job with it lately. So I'm patting myself on the back for that. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm down to have a little flirt, a little fun. Just see how we go. He's like a little pig in a playpen. Baby, I just gave you a bath last week. But he loves it. Look at him. I guess it's kind of like exfoliating for humans. He's exfoliating his skin. Hey friends, I'm sitting out in the backyard, letting my hair dry and drinking my coffee, soaking in the sun between sessions. But I wanted to update you all about my date last night. It went really well. It was really, really fun. We just got drinks at a bar and had a really good conversation, and we were definitely just kind of like in a good conversational flow. He was super cute, snagged the makeout, and things went from there. So yeah, it was a really, really fun night, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Who knows where things will go from here? I'm trying to just like manage expectations, as I can tend to get really excited and my mind and thoughts can run away with me. But yeah, hopefully more to come there. But you know, your girl has other dates set up in the next couple weeks. So yeah, this is one of many, and it was a good start just to get back into the game. So that's all I'll say for now. You guys, I feel like since last I saw you, i.e. last time I picked up the camera, I've been through a hero's journey. Only because, a little bit about me, I feel like I have a secure attachment style, and had a secure attachment style growing up. I had really fantastic parents, but when I started dating, I developed an anxious attachment style, and really I've only been in a couple of relationships where that anxious attachment style hasn't really flared up. One of them being with Ethan, but you know that thing where they're like, going to the grocery store, it feels the same in my nervous system as running away from a bear. I feel like not getting a text back, I feel that in my nervous system like I'm being attacked by a bear. So, little context, had my great date on Tuesday night, and then texted him the next day and never heard back. So it's been maybe it's been like 36 hours, I think, since I texted him, and no word. I can't believe that we'd had like such an amazing date and then your girl can't get a text back. Like, that is something that I've struggled with in past relationships. It's such a trigger for me, because I've definitely been in those relationships where like haven't responded to me in like 24 to 48 hours and we're like fully dating. And sometimes, like, I remember my first college boyfriend, he didn't text me back for like 3 days one time, and it was just like, what are we doing here? I just get like so triggered and have such spiraling, racing, negative thoughts when I don't hear back from someone. And I know, like, in this day and age, everyone has different, like, relationships with texting. And so what might feel like forever for someone is, like, not a big deal for other people. And certainly I have friends who, like, we can go days or weeks without responding, and then we'll respond and it's like, oh, no worries. But it does feel different with dating. And it's just it's so cruel and disrespectful to me when someone just, like, won't take the human decency and politeness to shoot you a text back, especially in dating, because it's like a more vulnerable arena than just like someone you've been friends with for years. So I just feel kind of stupid and embarrassed, and I know that I shouldn't be, but I do. I feel like, wow, I got my hopes up about like a cool dating situation. And even, you know, I always say, I'm like, you know, I'm looking for casual dating in that I have a partner that I live with, so I'm not like looking to like climb the relationship escalator and like make all these commitments to someone, but I do expect a certain amount of politeness. And when we had been talking initially before we even met, I said, like, I'm looking for casual with communication and intentionality, and he was like, oh, tell me more about what that means. And we were like talking about it on the date. So just to not hear back from him, I'm like, well, you don't care. And I feel silly for like assuming that you were actually curious and like wanted to follow through with that. So anyway, I just feel really embarrassed that I got my hopes up about this. And it's like, even if he does text me back an hour from now, right? It's still like, then I have to explain myself and be like, hey, I need a little bit more consistent communication. Or even if he's like, oh, sorry, my bad, I got busy. It's like that anxiety now, though, is there. And it's like, I know myself, it's not gonna to just go away, you know? And if I even continued to date this person, I don't have a lot of hope that it would get better. Anyway, I hope I'm making sense. It's just been a rough 36 hours. A really, really rough 36 hours. So yeah, I'm still having a freak out, but oh look, I got new Hydro Boost. Ethan went to Walgreens and got my two favorite items, my oatmeal and my skincare. He needed stuff too. He needed his Old Spice Fiji deodorant, but I don't know, getting my skincare really feels like Christmas morning. Look at that. Oh, I love just the ASMR of like opening a fresh Hydro Boost. This is that Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream. My skin slurps this shit up. So yeah, feeling a little bit better. I hung out outside and just sat in the backyard with Petey and read my book, and it was much needed. I got a Starbies, my other favorite thing. It was probably the last thing that was gonna like help my anxiety, because when I have anxiety like this, my heart rate feels so fast and my feet feel sweaty, my armpits feel sweaty, and I just feel like clammy and like, So I doubt that my cold brew with almond milk was the right decision, but it's something that I love that brings me joy, and so it can never be wrong. It can only be right in that context. But I'm happy about my skincare. And it just felt therapeutic to talk to you all, to talk to the camera. Sometimes I just got to talk myself through these things. Oh, and I called my mom and she was like, oh yeah, this has happened to me before. It happened to me a few months ago. Apparently this guy like took her to the Hollywood Bowl and they had like an amazing night, and then he ghosted. And he was like, after a week, he was like, oh, sorry, I'm moving to New York. Ew, trash. Men are trash. And so then we kind of had a conversation about how men are trash, and if men weren't such trash, then like the state of our government would be very different. And that was healing too. It's nice to have a little conflab with my mom about men being trash. And she's like, girl, I've been alive a lot longer than you. Don't I know it? And I'm like, girl, you do. So that helped me feel a little bit better. We just finished the Severance finale, and now we're having a little palette cleanser. I love my boy Keith. Ethan said, you guys have the same hair and you both have a thing for Nicole Kidman. And I said, ain't that the truth? This is who Ethan was playing with. Which one is he?
The one with the dobra.
Oh yeah, that guy. Ethan played with him last week.
Okay, we're gonna rewind and start
Rude.
without interruption.
It's been a long time coming. As you shared some tea.
Well, it's Friday afternoon, evening really, and I finally finished all my sessions for the day. It was a long one today. It was just a lot of clients back to back, but I made it, and I'm vibing on the couch, just chilling. Petey's over here to my right, but I think I'm gonna close the vlog out here just to give you a little update. The date from Tuesday finally texted me back yesterday afternoon. Sorry. Some crisis at work happened, of course. And we kind of texted back and forth for a few hours, and then he never responded again to my last text. So it just seems a little like, what are we doing here? I don't know though, you guys. He was really hot and it was such a fun night, so I'm torn. But like, I have to want better for myself. I don't know. It's just hard because on the one hand, I'm like, am I expecting too much? Like, this is someone I literally just met. Like, why am I expecting them to be like, boom, 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 boom on it? But then at the same time, it's like, you have to respect yourself enough to not put up with really shoddy and inconsistent communication. So I just really don't know, and I'm torn. And like, this is the struggle I find myself in a lot, is I give people a lot of chances and then I usually regret it. But then I'm also like, but I want to be accepting, and I want to not put crazy expectations on people if they're just like, you know, trying to get through the day. Like, life is hard, and I don't know. It's hard. And it's like, why do I do this to myself? Because I really enjoy dating until this shit happens. You know, I enjoy the actual going on dates part. I don't enjoy the bad communication between. But yeah, talking to some other people on the apps and just trying to distract myself. I don't feel as anxious about it as I did yesterday. I feel like those emotions are kind of moving through, but there's just a little bit of that like leftover underlying anxiety. So I'm gonna probably have like a chill night at home. Ethan has a gig tonight, so I might just like order some food and watch some Temptation Island and catch up on Survivor, which I haven't watched this week. And yeah, just come back to myself, you know, take care of me, putting me first. So yeah, thanks for coming along on this one. I know it's kind of been like a vulnerable ride, but yeah, leave any thoughts or comments below. As always, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.